Michael RJ here.
I'm here to talk about how I make some of my videos. I know on some of those videos of mine I get requests to make. Heck, sometimes the only comments I get is people requesting stuff. I'm not really complaining about it per se, but I could use some comments that stick to the topic, you know. And I just have a whole lot of stuff planned, more than YouTube content, but to help at least make up for not doing requests, I figured I'd present how I make them. And maybe inspire others to make them themselves. It's actually kinda simple. I mainly use my phone to make those videos, if you'd believe it, and let me tell you, it's nothing like making those other elimination order videos out there. So without further ado, let's get started. So what is there to do first? Well, other than knowing what show or such to make that video of, taking screenshots of the contestants. Then I used an app called Magic Eraser to make squares out of the contestant images. The reason for that is I use the app Filmmaker Pro to really make the elimination order videos happen. And the first step of that is taking each photo made in squares and putting them in rows of at least 2. And when I tried making them into squares in Photo app, and when I select those photos in Filmmaker, it doesn't let me have those photos as squares like how I make them out to be in the Photos app. I'm really not sure of why it doesn't let that. Well, it did let me make it images into squares on the app, but I found it easier to do it in Magic Eraser since Filmmaker doesn't exactly make it easier. Then once that is said and done, I make albums and photos for the CEs to not only make it easier as those eventually get somewhat lost in the other photos I have, but also just to have. Yeah, I think that's self-explanatory. And now, the part to really make the elimination order videos. So when I think about is what color background I use, it may not matter for some if not most of you. But this is something I've gotten thinking into as of recently, but enough about that. Then I slap the background color image into the video reel, and then overlay the background image with square images of the characters and use on another background image of the team colors, merge image, etc. Then screenshot the complete image, go to photos and crop the image like so. Then do the same thing but on another video reel, but make it look like those images into teams like so, and take another screenshot and crop that image. Now what's next is duplicating the photo and edit the duplicate photo, then use the pen tool there. Or rather select this tool here to select what color on the image to use. After that, hit done here, then done there. Then what's done next is duplicating the photo and use that method to make the video. That is pretty much the only way to make it work for this way of making the videos. I've tried taking screenshots of each photo and it doesn't go well, so then I eventually came to the thought of duplicating them. So, here we are. And adding new characters to the process isn't too hard. Just slap the cropped character in like so. Then just take a screenshot of the correct time estimate of the project. Then carefully crop the screenshot to perfectly match it up the prior photos. Same with the merge photo but with background color. And as you could tell, pretty much as the concept applies to the merge photos, I don't think I really need to say anything about the text. So next up I export it to photos, then make a new Filmmaker project. Why do all that when I could just make all in one take, you might be asking? Well, I tried before, then I saw the transitions and I'm thinking, whoa, this is way too fast. And there's no way to change the speed of the transitions themselves. So making a new project and using the project I previously made was the best option scenario. After having it ready to be edited some more, I looked at some other elimination order videos to get an idea of how long each transition to one character eliminated to the next, and pretty much went from there. And also used my other video projects for the time comparisons too. Oh yeah, I sorta glossed over that, huh? I look at how much of a gap between one transition eliminated player to the next. Then I put the time of each transition and then put double less the time of it, because once I put the video of the project onto a new project, I go to the speed setting and change to make each transition take double the time to happen, to make sure each transition is not too fast, not to mention smooth. Now for the last step, which is something that I'd have thought ahead of time, the music. I bet at least some people just think of songs that are catchy, use those in practically. Yay, I did that from time to time. but I tend to use music that I feel most fit the context, the show, or theme of it, or even what sounds most appropriate for the winner of that competition, plus the vibe, like what I did for the upcoming video. I would talk about copyright, but I'd rather not go there, but that's the gist of it. Now how I'll make the music go in the final project. I play it on another device and make the music play there while I'll record with Filmmaker while making sure it absolutely silent for the tune playing. And that's how I make my elimination order videos. Or yeah, all interested? Inspired to make elimination order videos of your own? You can comment them if you want. Now this would be the part where I say something like see you next time, but I'm feeling generous, so here's a sneak peek for the next video. Okay, now I'll close off the video. Later.
Walking